and he is a knowledgeable and wise voice for sensible Middle East peace. I visited with Jon Voight just before I left for Israel. Jon, you and I have been to Israel on a couple of occasions together. Remarkable memories of those times, and I always appreciate your observations of what we see, who we talk to, what's happening in Israel. And I welcome now just to hear a perspective as you see these many events unfolding in Israel and the many changes taking place.
I played the part of Pope John Paul II. And one of the scenes was with a group of press, and they asked him, they said, "Are you going to go to Israel?" And I'll do the accent too. And he said, "It is my greatest personal desire to visit the Holy Land and to pray at the most important places, which from ancient times have been God's interventions and the wonders that he has done." And I thought that was so beautiful, the whole idea of this place being surrounded by memories from the Bible, and we go and we take that in, and it's deeply moving to be there. We experienced that, you and I together, and Israel is very, very close to anyone who is aware of the Bible stories.
I was just going to mention that one of the things I think that both of us noticed and were struck by is that the Israeli government protects all of the holy sites for all of the religions. It's not just for the Jewish people, but they protect the Muslim sites, they protect the Christian sites, and of course they protect the Jewish sites, but they make those sites accessible to all faiths, and it is unlike perhaps any other government on the face of the earth.
And prior to their coming to that point where they had control, those sites were diminished, and sometimes there was pillaging and all of that. There were dangerous areas. So we can be very grateful for the people and the government of Israel. I wanted to make a statement. I told you that I had written something, and you and I get into this situation where I say, I've written a little something for us. And we've done this before, and effectively too.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to read something that is very dear to my heart, and one of the reasons why I was anxious to see you again. I'm here today to stand up for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who has only protected his country, Israel, from the evil that has tried to destroy it since the beginning of the Bible's scrolls of Moses and Abraham. Israel has been and always will be the Holy Land, and Benjamin Netanyahu stood on his country's promise to protect his people. And that, my dear friends, is the one thing we all have in common, and that's God's word and God's protection. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has fulfilled his promise, and in return, the evil is trying to convert his truths. They are lying and being deceitful. Let us come together and bring truth and justice for a man who has protected the Holy Land of Israel. God bless.
Jon, that is a beautiful affirmation of the Prime Minister and the very unique role he has played now as the longest-serving Prime Minister of the Jewish state of Israel. You and I were in his office. He was very gracious in welcoming us, as he has on many occasions. And I think he knows that there are many Americans like you and others who support Israel, but also support him as he tries to play this delicate balance between dealing with all of the hate that Israel gets from around the world, and yet trying to lead his people to understand that they are always under siege.
You know, the reason why everyone wants to eradicate the Jews, is something I said before, is that the Jew is the conscience of the entire world. the Jew has given us the laws of life to live by. And perhaps our evil inclination wants to eradicate the law and get back to the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. And there's something in that. The Jew is very special. And this generation of Jews should know that mantle and be very proud of Israel. It's a tremendous, we are seeing in our time a tremendous event that was predicted many years ago by the ancient Hebrew prophets, the time when the Jews would return to this land. And yet it happened. It's a miracle, but it doesn't mean that things are going to go easy. They never have gone easy for the Jewish people, and they probably, there will always be, as the prophet said, there will always be some energy that wants to that wants to destroy the Jewish people. And this prime minister has been extraordinary. This very gifted man has been extraordinary in maneuvering the ship of Israel safely to its harbor. And they are an example of so many things to the world today, and it's because of him.
You know, John, I've often remarked about Benjamin Netanyahu that he is a Churchill in a world filled with Chamberlains. And I think sometimes there are so many people who are quick to want to surrender, to give away their peace, to give away their strength. And you and I have observed in Benjamin Netanyahu a man who recognizes that you don't gain when you surrender. And that's been very powerful. Jon Voight, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate your visiting with me. What a delight to see you again. My family sends their regards to you, and we hope to see you soon.
I'm in love with your family, every member of the family. So, and yourself, Governor. It's great to be with you.
Thank you, John. God bless. Take care.
God bless.
Our thanks to Jon Voight, one of the busiest men in Hollywood, but also one of the most courageous voices there. And be sure to follow him on Twitter @Jon Voight.